On May 1st, 1957, a fresh-faced Nebraska farm boy named Joe Gross
I moved out here to chasing a girl.
Was sworn in as a Denver police officer.
Something that I seemed to fall right in with.
For a while, things were going well, and Joe says he felt like he was born to be a cop.
Loved it.
But 4 years into the job,
Things happened so fast and so quick.
Joe responded to a call
It was on Larimer Street, 2000 block.
that changed everything.
It was a difficult part of my life, still today.
It was March 19th, 1961. An armed robber was holding a police officer at gunpoint downtown. Joe says he got out of his patrol car, saw what was happening.
I could see a man holding a gun to Officer Myers' head.
And did what he says he had to do.
I saw where I had an opening to take a shot, and I took it. It just in a split second. And shot the man through the head, and he dropped immediately. I remember looking down at the guy. I could just feel the incredibly intense depression building up in me. So I just said a couple of prayers for him and a few more for me.
A deeply religious man, Joe says he was devastated that he had killed a man.
It was a horrible thing. And then to look down on him and know that it was me that caused that, oh boy, that's bad stuff.
Despite his anguish, Joe says he was back on the job the next day.
That was just the way it was in those days. You know, it was a little more harsh. Got no special treatment, which was all right with me. I didn't want any special treatment.
It may have been all right with Joe, but Joe was not all right.
I think depression probably more than anything.
And he says he began drinking heavily to mask his pain.
And I knew that things were just going to drift away from me if I didn't do something about it.
It took him about 10 years, but Joe finally did do something about it.
2 guys came and took me to my first AA meeting.
And after he got sober in 1972, he took it upon himself to counsel dozens of other police officers who had been involved in shootings and other traumatic events.
Felt like I was being worthwhile.
Some officers really struggle with the taking of a human life.
Sergeant Bobby Wadler runs the Resiliency, Wellness, and Peer Support programs for Denver Police.
Left leg stays straight, lift our left hips up to the sky.
In addition to teaching yoga classes at the police academy, Wadler runs a wide range of programs designed to promote the mental and emotional health of DPD's officers.
Make no mistake, you're gonna get scared on the street sometimes.
Wadler says lessons learned from the experiences of cops like Joe Gross have very much informed the department's current approach to helping officers who are involved in shootings.
It's so hard to determine if you get into a shooting, how it's going to impact you, how it's going to land with you, how it's going to affect you.
These days, when an officer is involved in a shooting, Wadler says they're off the street for a minimum of 8 weeks. During that time, they're required to meet with a psychologist and go through what Wadler describes as a comprehensive reintegration program.
We'll start with the physical, the mental, the emotional, the occupational, the intellectual, sometimes the spiritual. Inhale through the nose for 3 seconds. It's a neurological reset, a forced critical tactical pause.
According to Wadler, that tactical pause is necessary for everyone, the officers themselves and the people they're sworn to protect.
If you have a wounded officer, physically, mentally, emotionally, that has downstream impacts and has ripple effects that can touch everybody that comes into contact with that officer. Our officers take a pledge, they take an oath to serve. It's our obligation from our department to serve our officers and to support them.
Joe Gross wholeheartedly agrees.
It used to be that when somebody was involved in something real bad, you know, they just give them a slap on the back. Good job, kid. Write a few more tickets. You know, things change.
In Denver, Matt Jablow, 9 News.